Welcome to the MagiQuest audio commentaries. I'm doing this one by myself right now. I gotta slow it down a little bit. I gotta somehow talk for 11 minutes, and it's really just two whole scenes. So this entire first episode, and it kind of became a tradition for a little bit, was shot at my New Year's party. So we kind of just ran around doing stuff. But this ended up being the footage that we used. But we really don't tell you that much in this first episode, and honestly that's on me. I mean, it was my first time ever making something like this, like fully, and
what does that have to do with me?
all of my shows that I had made before that had made the same mistake. So I can't hear the audio, so I don't know which part they're specifically talking about right now.
I left this life behind.
But I do know that my friends had no idea what we were talking about this entire time, and I kind of hung them out to dry, I'm not gonna lie. I gave them direction, but they had not played MagiQuest yet. Of course they have now, but throughout the entirety of season 1, actually, we didn't even have extra MagiQuest wands. So really only I was using one until that last episode, really, which is something that we really want to fix with season 2, which we are doing. And that really ruined the vibe of the show, was not using the MagiQuest wands. So I'm glad we finally got those in. But we'll talk about that when it happens. I think we're getting to the part where I talk about the tacos, and that was just that just ended up becoming an in-joke, and so did Gerald the Goose, who gets mentioned at least one more time here. And I'm sure I've mentioned on some live streams and stuff. We make the joke a lot. So this is, the Foxy and Damien. This is the first time that you actually get to see both of them. Obviously my hair grew out by the end of the show. So I don't like my hair this length. It's hard to watch this video. It's hard to watch any stuff from before, I want to say 2024, maybe 25. It's hard to watch anything from before that because I hate my hair at that length. And you can see I'm wearing the Wolf Waters shirt, which is just to advertise. It was just cross promotion. It really was. Yeah, there's Gerald the Goose they're talking about. They're looking up, and you're looking right at him. I had no idea what I was doing with the character of Foxy yet. I kind of knew what I was doing with Damien. And then, Dynamo's going to show up in a minute, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And, I always do the same thing with Gino. Gino's just a guy, and that's what Gino is in real life as well. So, Gino's just a guy, so sometimes you just have him just be a guy. Sometimes he's the stupid one, so we can explain something. Sometimes he's the smart one, because he's the only normal one. But basically, if you want to use Gino, you make him just a guy. Just a guy who's doing a thing. He doesn't need to do much, but he just needs to do a thing. And that's the best way to use Gino, and so that's always how I want to use Gino. Because he's good at what he does. I can't stand still yet. I haven't learned that ability yet, so that's why I'm quite literally circling this entire time, which is obviously not good for the camera. Just keep circling, because that'll work. That'll look so great. It creates the more dynamic shot than the usual 2-shot that we use throughout the show. Which, I come from a theater background more than film. I love film, don't get me wrong. But a lot of my experiences in theater, which is kind of where that, extended 2-shot really comes from. A lot of time in theater, you're going to have two people standing next to each other talking, and that's what they're doing. They might be doing other things, but generally, you're going to see a wide angle, because it's, an entire stage, and you're going to see two people talking. So that's where a lot of that comes from, and I do my best to not do that anymore, but I kind of have to sometimes. Sometimes that's just the best shot to do. sometimes you don't want to do, like, sometimes you're working with just one background, so you kind of have to do the two shot. Like, in season 2, there's a scene that I would have loved to do otherwise, but the effect only worked with the two shot. So that's why you see this a lot. But of course, this is a lot more dynamic because I'm walking around and doing stuff. I don't know at what point I learned to stand still, but it definitely was not this episode. And I think in a minute is when we hear Dynamo. I just keep talking. We just keep talking about a bunch of stuff. And it's conversation to do world building, but none of this is earned. Like, you haven't seen anything yet. All you've seen is this street. There's no title card yet either. That was made by Luke. Known on the MagiQuest Discord as Luke 2, otherwise known as Luke, I think TLG, something like that. Either way, it's spelt wrong. And then I think he's changed it now to Story Spectre, I want to say. But he's the one who did the title card for MagiQuest. I mean, I made the original concept. I just whipped it up in Ibis Paint X, which is a free iPhone app. And I use it because it's free, and it's where I make all of my thumbnails. So I just threw one together, and then we kind of went from there. I mean, it's made from MagiQuest assets, but, the font was very basic, and then the new one looks a lot better. And he also gave me, like, a color variation, which we, of course, used later for the finale. But that's in, like, a couple episodes, so we gotta keep talking about right now. I really want to get the other actors with me to record the rest of these commentaries, but I'm just doing it by myself right now because that's who's available. And I want to know whether people like it being here on the main channel or if you want them on MagiQuest Lycan, which is my side MagiQuest channel. I can't say second channel. I could say secondary, but not second because I have more than 2 channels. So, there he is. Here I come to save the day. We got Dynamic Saturn 36, whatever, as Dynamo. Really, like, heart and soul into this, much more than anyone else except for me. Fully committed. I mean, I'll tell the Thornbush story later, but I will say that I did not know until after the shot was completed. And had I known, I would not have done that shot in the first place. Because that is not where I told... I'll tell the story later. It's in the finale. But he was okay. That's what matters. And I would not let him do that again. Rookie mistake. I needed to look better. But of course I've learned that now. But yeah, he's a real stunt guy. He did all his own stunts. And I did everyone did their own stunts, but he's the one who committed to actually doing some. Aside from me, but I don't think I do much here. I think I do much more. Okay, yeah, so, and then I needed a reason for this next scene. So this was actually shot way after, like, right before this came out. Because I needed to figure out why they were there. So I was like, oh yeah, come over, you're not gonna believe this. You could see me reach for the camera, I think, here. But no, and then I do a hand motion, so I'm not actually doing that, but that's what I'm doing. Alright, that's lovely. And then here we have an explanation that would, define the entire series and the absolutely mess of a living room. I think I'm building a Lego set at this point. I remember because, like, winter break, I built the Sanctum Sanctorum. There's Gino. Hi, Gino. There I am again. In this scene, Damien speaks German, and there is no canon explanation of this. Nobody's here in this shot, by the way, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this one was just me doing this myself afterwards. Because, again, I realized later I needed more, and I was not about to bring everyone back in. But, The music here was changed. It was originally Less Than Hero or Less Than Zero by The Weeknd from the Dawn FM album, but I changed it to like a copyright-free YouTube one, because that's kind of what happened with, like, you know, Supernatural. That happened with a lot of the music between like the physical release and streaming. So I was just like, anyone who really cares will have watched it within this first like year and whatever, a year and a half since I changed it. So I was like, I'll be fine to change it, and then I can later monetize this video because it's one of my most popular that I could actually monetize. So yeah, this joke is directly stolen from The Incredibles, I won't lie, but I am fatter than I was when I was 12, who would have guessed? But those matchup belts are really small. They really are. Even the newer ones, they at least come in larger sizes, but ultimately, you know, not my size. I'm a bigger guy, what can I say? Oh, ew, what? Oh, this shot is ugly as hell, dog. Oh, I mean, the Spider-Man joke is funny, but no, this shot is just not it. And why am I wearing Harry Potter robes? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And the compass, I regret that so much, because I want to use the compass as a plot point, and I might one day. So if the compass ever randomly shows up, you just have to accept the fact that I have it. I didn't have it, actually, and that this is a dream or whatever. This is all a lie. But yeah, it's a continuity error, and I am happily going to use it.